Good morning and a very happy solstice to you all, whichever solstice you are celebrating today, if you celebrate the solstice. So of course, if you live on the other side of the world, you're celebrating the summer solstice. And if that's the case, you lucky devils, because obviously here it's Yule and it's been a very wet late autumn. Obviously today, first day of winter. And we've had so much rain leading up to winter that it's just been awful. In fact, we had a 1 in 100 year flood 2 or 3 weeks ago. We didn't get much damage here. We had a bit of flooding on the lawn, but a lot of farmers lost stock and fences washed away and people had to be rescued, and my sister was on evacuation alert, and it wasn't very nice. So I've got withdrawals because I have not been able to get into the garden. As you can see, it is an absolute mess. And I mean, gardens are always a bit messy, you know, in winter anyway, but I haven't been able to do any tidying up at all. In fact, I don't even really like looking at it, to be honest, because it just makes me a little bit sad. However, it's not going to be all that far till spring, so I need to buck up and just deal with it. So I have today off work. Hardly any apples on my tree left. I have got the day off work. I have taken the day off work to honour the day and to celebrate the day. So I'm going to share snippets of my day with you and take you on my Yule celebrations. So I'm not even dressed. It's nearly 9 o'clock. I need to go have a shower because I've got quite a lot planned. So we will crack on and I will see you in a bit. So I found something really cool on my bed other than Manson, and I wanted to show you. I don't know if you're going to be able to see. Excuse me, Manson, excuse me. Okay, hang on. So this, if you can see without Manson thinking that he has to be everywhere, is a cat whisker, which is now slipped in between my fingers. There we go. Courtesy of Mr. Manson, because he's really the only one that sleeps on this bed. The other two cats sleep with my son. Cat whiskers are brilliant to use in any sort of good luck or wishing type spells. Cat black whiskers are especially lucky, in my opinion anyway. So whenever I see them, and I do find them reasonably frequently, I don't always find the black ones from my two black cats because they just seem to blend into the background. But I have quite a collection of white whiskers from my big grey cat Sally. So that's an awesome find on Solstice Day. I'm thrilled with that. Thank you very much, Mr. Manson. That is much appreciated. God, that looks so good and it tastes gorgeous. So I'm just made a pot of homemade veggie soup, good old-fashioned veggie soup. It's got a little bit of bacon in there as well because I needed to use it up. There's all sorts of goodies in there. Carrot and celery and a little bit of swede and onion. There's barley and split peas and yellow lentils and all sorts of yummy things. So this is going to be our solstice lunch today. Hubby's working and I wanted to make sure that I had something really wholesome and warm and nourishing for him because it's very cold outside. And also to go with it, I am making bread. So I'm making, I'm actually doing this recipe, which is in my favourite bread book. Hang on, I'll show you. This is by a New Zealand household name, Alison Holst. I think just about every New Zealand kitchen has at least one of her books. And this is a brilliant bread book. It's got all sorts of different types of bread in it. So This is the one that I'm making, and you can make it into like a ring as well, which is called monkey bread, but I'm not doing that. I'm just doing it in little muffin pans. So when that's ready to go in the oven, it hasn't quite risen enough yet. It has to sort of double in size. I'm going to brush some milk on top to make a bit of a glaze, and then put some grated cheese, and we'll have that with our soup, and it's going to be delicious. So I haven't done my altars yet. I haven't done my working altar yet. Morrigan's altar pretty much stays the same, but we have adorned it with some lovely evergreens in the form of ivy. Very nice. So I'm doing this later. Oh, excuse me. I didn't think you'd appreciate hearing me coughing my lung out on video. So I'm going to be doing this later, and while my bread's rising, and to take advantage of the sun, which I believe is going to go this afternoon, and it's going to rain again, I'm going to head up to my local graveyard that I frequent a lot and that I've got a really good relationship with, and I'm actually going to leave my old botanicals and bits and pieces that I'd collected over the autumn that have been on my seasonal altar, which is over there and not done yet either. So I'm going to leave that there, sort of ritualistically shedding out the old and bringing in the new, and then I'm going to do a little bit of harvesting up there as well, and I'm going to go for a walk in the reserve while my bread is rising, and by the time I get back everything should be pretty much done. So that's what I'm going to do now, and I'm going to take you with me. And I need to rug up because even though it's sunny, it's really cold outside, but I just need to be out in the sun. I need to absorb some sunlight, and it just feels like it's been forever since we had any sun. So come on, let's go. Today with the sun and all the leaves, and it's lovely, and all the mud. We'll just pray that I don't get my car stuck. I don't think it will. It's not that bad. We have had a lot of rain though. Okay. So I'm not going to film too much in here because, well, it's kind of a private moment and doesn't need to be on camera, but I have shown this graveyard many times before. It's absolutely beautiful. It has a beautiful energy, and I'm very welcomed here, which is something that I do really want to do a video about. Proper etiquette in graveyards and cemeteries, but we'll save that for another day. It's quite an old cemetery, and it's quite a gothic sort of looking cemetery. It's got lots of lovely ironwork, and it is beautiful. It's beautiful any time of the year. So I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and then I will catch you back later on. This is the elder tree, elder seeds. This is really not all that far from home, but I drove because both the cemetery and this little reserve are really just about a 10-minute walk, but I got lazy and I drove because I do have a lot to do at home, but I really love coming around here to walk. I try and come here nearly every day for a walk, a couple of times, a couple of loops around the lake. It's just lovely. There's always something to see. There's so much wildlife, and it's a good way to see the seasons, you know, changing, and it's beautiful. I would love to live in one of those houses over there. What a view. It's quite busy today, so I'm going to get going. So back home, jiggity jig, and I'm actually not best pleased. I'm just making myself a coffee. Before I tell you why I'm not best pleased, I just want to briefly talk about this marvellous invention from Italy. So this is called a Mocha Pot, and I'm sure a lot of you have got one or heard of one. I do not drink instant coffee. I cannot stand instant coffee. I don't like the taste of it. It can upset my tummy. I just can't stand it. So I had an espresso machine for quite a few years, and actually had two, don't ask, and I sold them because I didn't like all the plastic from the coffee pods. I know that you can buy refillable ones. They're kind of expensive here, and I know that you can get like the Nespresso, I think they're aluminium, and you can return them, actually just up the road at the post shop, which is an unusual place to return them, but I did hear that 70% end up in landfill, so yeah, I wasn't happy at all about that. So I sold them and I invested in a Mocha Pot, and this is great because you can actually take it camping and all sorts. All you need is a heat source, so you can stick it on the barbecue and what have you, and just buy coffee. You can grind your own, buy the beans and grind your own. I can go up the road and get coffee, grind it myself, put it in a paper bag, so there's no packaging or anything like that, and there's zero waste at all. Because back when I had the Nespresso, I used to take the foil off the top, like once they'd been used, scoop out the used coffee, and then I'd stick it in my worm farm, and then the pods, they had to go in landfill rubbish. They don't recycle them, not here anyway, because they're too small. And actually the Nespresso pods were quite expensive as well, so I didn't buy them. I just bought like the cheaper ones from the supermarket, and not good for the environment. So I just thought I would mention that, this little thing, because it's fabulous, and you can get all different sizes. I think this is a 6-cup one. I like quite a strong coffee, but you can get them for like 2 people, like 2-cup. And if you are environmentally friendly or looking to, you know, help the environment along, then, and if you like good coffee, these are brilliant. I think it cost me around $90-something, but literally they last years and years and years. They're all stainless steel. All you have to do is replace the little seal that's in there. They're really easy to use. There's quite a few tutorials on how to use them on YouTube, so they are brilliant. And then what I do is, I will show you, pour it into my cup, and I kept my milk frothers from Nespresso, so I just froth my milk in this, and a bit of coconut sugar. I don't have white sugar, Bob's your uncle. Beautiful coffee every time. Just give that a wee stir, and then I like the foam on top, and you can put a little bit of cinnamon on or hot chocolate. And it's my little cup of sunshine, and I have this every day, or I get takeout coffee quite a bit. I am a bit of a coffee fiend. I love good coffee. I cannot stand instant coffee, not for me. I'm a coffee snob. So yes, so the reason why I'm not pleased is because I got home and discovered who I think is Fat Sally. I think she's been the culprit because she was very slinky when I got home. You has been on my windowsill in my witchy room and knocked over an entire vase. I had a vase of pine needles in there, which smelled absolutely gorgeous. Knocked it over, all over my working altar, splashed onto my Book of Shadows, which is now currently drying in my linen cupboard, and put water absolutely everywhere. So I have a big mess to clean up, and I'm not best pleased. She couldn't give it a single F right now. Ta-da! Ivan's going to give it the taste test. Here you go, dear. Yeah, but try the bread, because that's the first time I've made that bread. What's that like?
Dunk it.
Dunk it. Good?
Perfect.
That's the rest of it. I'm not watching the diet today. Hi guys, so just thought I would show you this absolutely gorgeous tree in the garden. This is called Winter Sweet, and I recently shared a picture of it on my Instagram. I don't know if I've talked about it too much on my channel, but it is a really old-fashioned plant. That's it. Sort of up close. It's really old. It's been around for a very long time, and it has the most heavenly scent that you have ever smelt in your entire life. Now, it likes a reasonably cold climate. It wouldn't do any good in a climate that gets quite humid. It does need quite a cool winter. It flowers obviously in the winter once it's lost its leaves, although mine's in quite a sheltered spot, so it's starting to rain. So it hasn't lost all of its leaves yet, but it is absolutely beautiful, and it gets these lovely, highly scented flowers on its bare stems, and this just gets better and better every year. If you can find one and if it grows in your area, then I could not recommend growing one enough. The smell, it's like a really sweet, spicy, it's a little bit similar to stock, if you've ever smelt stock, which I have down there, those two, that's stock. Quite the sweet, spicy smell, but it's just beautiful. So I always look forward to it, and I can smell it now, like it's really strong. Just a couple of little twigs brought inside will scent an entire room. So I'm going to harvest some for my altars, and I actually do have some drying as well, but just thought I would show you that. There's not much else going on in the garden at this time of the year, but this is when Winter Sweet comes into its own, is in the winter. Hence the name. Beautiful. You see the rainbow? Isn't that pretty? So something really nice you can do on the solstice, well, you can do it all year round really, but it's particularly nice to do on the winter solstice, is make some fatty cakes for the birds. And basically it's so easy to do. You just get a whole bunch of fat. Over here it's called dripping. I don't know what you call it in other parts of the world, but you know, leftover cooking fat, this is a combination of leftover cooking fat from our cooking and brought dripping because I didn't quite have enough. Like tallow, which is beef fat. And you just melt it down in a pot, and then you add bird seed to it. I just buy these great big bags of wild bird seed mix, and you mix them together, and then you put them in some molds. You can use any type of mold that you like. I like these silicone molds. I use these for my soap making and stuff as well, but they're great because they're easy to pop out. Hang on a minute. Bunch of noisy children outside. Yeah, I like these because it's easy to pop out your little cakes, but you can use anything, old yogurt containers, anything really. And so you put the mixture in here and you let it set, just stick it in the fridge, and you let it go hard, and you pop them out, and then you can hang them in little net bags around your garden. I take some down to my horse paddock. I've got a great big huge bird feeder down there, and I fill it up with seed and take a few of these down and pop them in there for the wild birds down there, and just hang them around the property really. You want to make sure that you can hang them quite high, so if you've got cats, that the cats can't get to them, or that the birds have, you know, warning if your cats are trying to get to them. Or you could, you know, hang them like at the local park. I think that would probably be okay. I've never done that. I don't know what rules and regulations there are, but I would presume if you were using seed that is native to where you live, then it should be all right, but I don't know about that one. But anyway, I make these all the time, and all the birds love them, and I hang them up all around different parts of the garden, and yeah, it's really nice to watch them feed and just to, you know, do your bit. Birds kind of struggle a little bit in the winter to get enough food, so the fat, you know, gives them energy, as well as, you know, the seed providing them with food. So it's also good to do like coming into spring as well, like if they're feeding young and things like that. So I am going to do this, and then I'm going to head down to the horse paddock to see Miss Bramble. I've made her up a concoction. Looks revolting, but she loves it. Boiled barley, molasses, and a cut up carrot, and I'm going to mix that in with her feed. She doesn't really need it, but I do like to spoil her. And there we go, just like that. And I'll leave these to set and solidify, and then tomorrow they will be ready to pop out to the birds. I'm sure they'll be well appreciated. What do you reckon, Bramble? Is that pretty good? I don't think anyone has seen Bramble for quite some time. She's doing very well. And before anyone says anything, I'm just going to point out, no, she does not have a swollen face. If you can see, if I look at her straight on, she's got like chipmunk cheeks. She has got a deformed mouth, and she regularly sees the dentist because her teeth grow a little bit funny, and she packs grass in between her teeth and her cheek on each side, which is why it's sticking out like a chipmunk. It's not actually swollen or anything like that, and they can't do anything about it. It's just the way she was born, unfortunately. But the vet tells me that she's not in any discomfort. She doesn't lose any weight. In fact, I have to really watch her weight because she's little and she can get a bit podgy. She's happy and healthy, so yeah, I just don't want someone saying to me, your pony's got a swollen face, because it's not swollen. It's called quitting. I think that's the technical term for it. Something like that. It's an actual thing. You can look it up. But yeah, unfortunately, she's not got a normal pony mouth. She's got a wonky mouth. But she's my little darling. I have owned Bramble for, she must be coming up 20 this year, and I have owned her for about 19 years. She's my mate and I love her dearly, even when she breaks out of her paddock. Okay, so the weather's starting to come in, it's starting to get some misty rain happening. So I'm going to go home, see my hubby and hang out in my witchy room for a little bit. I will show you my setup for my ritual later and what I'm planning to do. I have had a brilliant day. It's around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I've had such a lovely day today. Something fantastic happened today, which I'll talk about in a future video. But it was so poignant that it happened today. It's just amazing. So, yeah, I'm one happy chappy today. And I am just, I don't know, I've got a smile from ear to ear today. So couldn't ask for a better solstice, really. So, I'll show you my ritual setup. Hang on, I'll turn the light on. It's a little bit dark in here. I really should have filmed this earlier, but I ran out of time, and now it's pitch black outside, as you can see. So this is my working altar, and trying to position myself so you can see without my shadow being in the way. So my ritual tonight is focused very much on eliminating the old, shedding the skin, getting rid of past negativity, a lot of junk that I have been holding on to that I feel is preventing me from moving forward with my spiritual journey, and opening myself up to new energies coming in, new experiences, new people, so on and so forth. That's kind of a very short version of what my ritual is going to be about. But so on my little working altar here, I have my candles. I have some lovely light blue for healing. Now actually in these candle holders you can't see, but there is water in there, rainwater and seawater for the healing energies of water and connected to the emotions, so on and so forth. My cauldron, of course, and let me just, if I can get down, that might be a little bit better. I'm sorry about the light. So you also won't be able to tell, but these ivy branches are in the shape of a pentagram. Ivy is a plant that deeply connects me to my spirituality, and it's associated with Yule being an evergreen. There's also some holly leaves at the points of the pentagram. Holly is very spear-like to look at, so the holly is here for strength and endurance. I have clear quartz points for potency, power. I have my lovely smoky quartz generator down there. I have various other little bits and pieces. My oil, my Sabar oil, which is very, very teeny tiny, but that's all that I need for what I'm doing. Which I will be using to anoint my candles. My incense is in this little pot here. I have got my sacred hagstone, which I found on one of my little trips. Got some angel quartz. This one's in the shape of a heart, isn't that lovely? There's some amethyst there as well. My owl totems, also they're there for wisdom. And I am not going to be filming my ritual, obviously, but this is my setup thus far. There will probably be a few little other bits and pieces that will be added to it. So in person it looks very pretty, and I'm going to be putting flowers and things in underneath the candles. I love those holders. I got them from a thrift shop. They're perfect for sitting all sorts of little things in there. I just love them. So that's the working altar, and I have a few other little bits and pieces. I will show you that a little bit later on, but I'm just waiting for my dinner, so I thought I would show you my setup. Morrigan's altar never really changes all that much. I'm not one for all-out decorations on my altars. I add a few different touches for sabbats and maybe for the moon phases and things like that, but the sort of bones of the altar don't ever really change. I like to have candles burning on her altar. Whenever I'm home, I typically have one or both of her candles burning. I've had this little one for years, and they just tea light holders, but I love them. This is a recent thrift find. This is in an upcoming thrift witchy video. And we just have a ring of ivy around her statue. I kind of like how it's almost just sort of like almost peeking out of it, like it's sort of like almost like a shroud. And then down with her aspect candles. So that's Morrigan's altar. And then my seasonal altar, I am going to actually be changing this. I'm going to be taking this down, and I'm actually going to be completely redecorating this altar because I don't really like how it looks anymore. But I love how it's just a little wall altar because I don't have a massive amount of space here in my witchy room, so I have to be a little bit creative. But I will obviously be taking this little mini wreath off when I burn the candle, so don't fear, I'm not going to burn the house down. But there's some oak bark in the back there. I found that today, and a bowl of acorns, a lovely conker that's been on my altar for quite a while now. I found that leading up to Mabon at the graveyard. I actually got this is a sand shark tooth, like a really, was it 2,000 years old? I think I actually found this at the thrift shop. Isn't that cool? So that sits there. And a lot of the stuff I've had for many, many years, and I just like to keep things simple. There would be no point me having great big elaborate altars because I just don't do great big elaborate workings. You know, I'm fairly simple in my practice. So a lot of the stuff I've had for years, like my God representation I've had for, I couldn't even tell you how many years I've had him. Same with my goddess representation. Oh, excuse me. And there are just things on here that are always on here. Here's another hagstone. And this is a little incense burner. Sorry, this little tree. Here's a little cone incense burner. I brought one for my son too a wee while ago. There's a little cauldron down there. That is Wade pottery from Ireland. The wee shamrocks, absolutely gorgeous. Of course, my owls, and yeah, so I'll explain about this in an upcoming video because that is another thrift find, but I'm not going to explain about it in this video. So yeah, I can't wait to decorate this, but I want to get you all done, and then I'm going to be taking this down and redecorating it. I've got some quite neat ideas for that little shelf. So that is my setup for tonight's ritual, and yeah, my various altars, and I'm going to go and enjoy my dinner. I'll catch you back soon. Hi guys, so I thought I would just share this little idea with you. If you don't have a bath in your house and you want to take a ritual shower. So we had to take our bathtub out of our house because our bathroom's just way too small. So this is an idea that I have come up with to have a ritual shower prior to ritual or any sort of spell work, just whenever you feel like you need that good cleanse, or you make it part of your entire ritual, etc., so on and so forth. So I've got some cheesecloth here, and on it I have got some oats, which I've actually ground. These are whole oats that I've ground in my coffee grinder, just so they're a bit finer. And there's some rose petals on there, and I'm going to add a selection of herbs that correspond to the ritual that I am going to be doing tonight. So I've got eucalyptus, peppermint, lavender, pine, hyssop, and a little bit of rue. And basically I'm going to get a few leaves of each, put it on top of here, tie it up with a little scrap piece of cheesecloth, and I will use this in the shower to wash my body with. And of course, you know, it depends on what purpose you want it for as to what herbs you will use, but the oats are really soothing on your skin, and it gives it like a nice base as well. And as the water goes through, you'll get some nice sort of oat milk going on all over your skin, and it's really soothing and just lovely. So I will show you what it looks like when I have finished, but I just thought that I would share this little idea with you if you are wanting to take a ritual shower yourself. So there we go. And you want to make sure that you charge and empower this little bundle, obviously, before you take a shower with it, and let it know what its purpose is. And you can either charge each herb as you're adding it, or do it at the end when you've added everything. And you just you know, use it like a face cloth or a flannel, and you know, get wet in the shower, and then you rub this all over your body, like put it under the shower head so it gets wet, and then rub it all over your body. And it's a nice little alternative to taking a ritual bath. And then of course you can compost everything afterwards. So yeah, okay, awesome. Okay, so I'm going to do my ritual now. I've had my ritual shower. I feel lovely and relaxed and cleansed, and in the right frame of mind for doing my ritual. So I'm just going to show you, well, explain, not show you, briefly what I'm doing, and then I'm going to do my ritual. And of course I'm not going to film that because that is very private and not to be put on YouTube, but I will sort of explain what I am doing. So as I have said numerous times before, this solstice is all about releasing past hurts, past emotions, past habits, past people that still occupy time in my brain that I don't like and that I want gone. So a whole lot of releasing is going on tonight. I have my incense ready to go. I'm about to light my charcoal disc, and I have a little sachet, I suppose you could call it. This is in burlap because this will eventually be buried, so I don't want anything that's harmful to the earth. There are various things in here that I'm not going to talk about, but one thing that is in here is everything that I want to release is written down on a piece of parchment that's been anointed with oils, and there's a lot of other little bits and pieces in here as well. So this is symbolic of what I want to release. So this is going to be worked on over the next few days and possibly weeks, and then we'll eventually be buried. This isn't something that's just going to happen instantaneously tonight. I'm not going to wake up tomorrow and, you know, suddenly be completely healed of everything. These things take time and they take work. So that is what that is. And I'm going to light my candles, do my ritual, and I might show you a little, I don't know, a little bit, but nothing nothing too out there, nothing too personal. So anyway, thanks for sticking with me today. I really enjoy doing Sabbat vlogs. I wish more people would do them because I love watching them. I love seeing how other people celebrate and what they do, and all sorts of things. I really do miss the Sabbat vlogs that used to be around quite a few years ago. I wish they would make a comeback. So I will leave it there, and I hope your day was as blessed as mine. I've had a fabulous day, and I hope you're all well. Stay blessed, and I will see you later. Bye.